wins ain't bad at all.
Let's go. That's my mayor. That's my mayor right there. Let's fucking go. And even if you're not from New York, that's your fucking mayor too. Okay, I can't resist. I saw this second thought video and I really wanted to watch it.
The next mayor of the city of New York, Zohran Mamdani.
1 year ago today, kinda.
I will be your Democratic nominee for the mayor of New York City.
Zohran won the Democratic primary and all but secured the mayor's office, snatching victory from the paws of the creep, and according to what I'm seeing on Facebook, turning the city into a cesspit of commie, Sharia, Bushwick, needle-swapping, woke, blue hair, no cops, pronouns, Hamas, kumbaya BS.
This city belongs to you.
Is that a good thing? Has Zohran, the more dumb Mamdani, Lenined up the Big Apple and read disgustinged it? In this episode, we decided to find out. Title card. Wait, was I supposed to say that? All right, quick plug and then we'll get back to it. As always, I want to respect your time, so here's a timestamp to skip ahead if you're not interested or not able to support the channel. I've said this before, but it is worth repeating. This channel runs on viewer support. That is just—
Sorry, guys. Ethical reacts.
The reality of doing this kind of work. There aren't a lot of companies lining up to fund openly socialist content, and honestly, even when they do, it's not something I want to depend on long term, because at the end of the day, if your funding comes from corporations, there's always going to be pressure there. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's not, but it's never on our terms. So the alternative is pretty straightforward. If we want this kind of content to exist, it has to be supported directly by the people who actually watch it. If you're in a position to help out, Patreon is the easiest way to do that. You get some nice perks too, including early access to ad-free versions of every single video, and access to our patrons-only Discord server, complete with book club. And then there's also Means TV, which I've been really working hard to help build these last couple of years. Means is a worker-owned streaming platform, so no ads, no venture capital nonsense. It's just us normal people trying to build something that actually reflects the politics we talk about here. I've been posting some extra stuff there for a while now, including like—
Also, let me say, guys, when you don't make any money off of ads or sponsors, it's way more difficult to make political content and like stay afloat making political content than it is to do like any other content. Did you guys see this clip, by the way? I think even Hassan talked about it. I don't remember. Ludwig said he made $1 million in June. Here's the split. Merch, $7,000. YouTube, $270,000. Twitch, $57,000. Sponsors, $800,000 in June. So please understand, guys, when I tell you— also, so much of YouTube is ad rev, and same thing with Twitch is ad rev. When I tell you guys to support the channel, and I really only can do this content and make political content because of your guys' support, I mean it. Like, not having sponsors, not having ads, that's like not accessible at all. It really does mean that I rely entirely on your guys' support, and I otherwise I would not be able to make content online. That's just like, it's like literally just the truth. So if you have content that you like and you like watching it, and you watch it as much as you watch Netflix or more than you watch Netflix, you should support it, because the only reason it gets to exist is because of viewers like you. Fence sitting might be the new meta. Well, it doesn't even matter, because like after Ethan helped out with that campaign against Twitch, the like boycotting Twitch for anti-Semitism or whatever, some channels are just like basically perma ad banned. Not actually, but like soft. Where it's like, what else is there to do, right? His reasoning was interesting. He doesn't want to ask for more money from his users, but at the same time, once you start sponsorships, you start inherently self-censoring. Yeah, but like, nobody likes asking for support on the internet. And also, nobody likes— because it doesn't matter what content creator you are, you're going to get clipped if you ask for support half the time. Because it's like, well, I like the number of people that literally say like, Denims is literally a billionaire. She's a multi-billionaire. Also, the people who are saying you were going to lose the case are real quiet and shitting themselves now. Yeah. It's also just soft censorship because it means full-time streamers that barely make enough to pay their bills often can't reasonably risk being blacklisted for ads as a political streamer. Well, yeah, and that's why like most of these people just like don't engage at all in the political space or talk to any of the
hot. I'm gonna fucking
political people. I like how you went from going to be homeless to billionaire in like 6 months. Yeah. Yeah. It's two sides of the same coin. Ask viewers for money or sell it for sponsors. Yeah. You're not a billionaire. I'm unsubbing. I don't want to support a poor. I only watch ad-free political streamers at this point. Twitch ads are nonsense. Then you should consider supporting the streams that you like to watch, knowing that those people do not, or the streamers that you watch who don't have any ads, make nothing off of Twitch other than the support that you guys provide them. So like I said, if you watch it, and I feel this way about all journalism, any journalists that I really appreciate, I try to support them. And I try to pay for those services because getting constant content where someone has to be there all the time and knowing that they don't make anything other than the support that they get from viewers or readers or whatever, it makes me want to support them. So you guys should support those things that you like, that you watch often. I did cancel my Ryan Grimm fan club subscription recently. I mean, I just didn't. What people choose to do is what people choose to do. I don't like how he responded. I keep seeing Ryan Grimm tweets on my feed. I'm just like skipping straight past them. I'm like, what happened with Ryan Grimm? Wait, what happened? Yeah, what happened? If you want to watch the podcast episode, I think the best coverage of it was on the podcast, the No Politic Here podcast. I was on it and I talked about it for like, we talked about it for like over an hour. So I would recommend watching that. Okay, moving on.
15 or 20 minutes of extra content for every video. And we have some bigger projects on the way too. No pressure, obviously. Watching and sharing the videos helps a lot on its own. But if you do want to go a step further and help make sure that Second Thought stays afloat, these are the best ways to do it. For those of you who already support us financially and those of you who are on the fence, thank you so much. It really does mean the world to us. All right, that's it. Back to the video. Let's start with a list. Zohran's achievements in just 6 months in office are incredibly impressive. And at the top, you have to put free universal childcare for thousands of 2-year-olds in New York. Just 8 days into his term, Mamdani secured a $1.2 billion budget to make pre-K free in the city and add thousands of new spots for kids. Finally giving thousands of New York parents an answer to the question, how can I provide the greatest number of infectious diseases to my child at no cost? Let me tell you, I'm a parent myself, and this is a big deal. For everyone, but especially for those working class parents who can't afford to either take work off, or send their kids to private pre-K, or move neighborhoods to where seats are available. Not everyone can get help from family, and feeling like your kids are already...
The crazy thing too is the right-wing party is like the pro-family party that wants everyone to have kids, but they literally refuse to ever implement policy that would actually help people. Not a typical viewer, just wanted to stop by and congratulate you on the complete, utter ass clapping and spanking you gave to Ethan. Thank you. I do my best around here.
Already falling behind at just 2 years old is a horrible thing. This plan eradicates that. Not measles, though. You might have also seen that we're taxing the rich now. In the capital of capital, second homes worth more than $5 million and that sit empty most of the year are now going to be taxed. That'll bring in somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 million. You get it? Neighborhood? Which is really good news for a city where rent and property prices just keep going up. There are entire streets filled with empty apartments used by billionaires exclusively as improvised.
I'm so sorry to distract you guys from this, but not me reading this chatter's message out earlier thinking that this was just sarcasm and then realizing that this person is like insane. Make white people pay for feeding and breeding more non-white kids. Impressive feat indeed, very cool. Was something I said not true? This was a chat from yesterday. Yeah, I scrolled up and then I see this. Why is your hair purple and straightened, sister? Let it grow naturally. Crazy Moroccan curls. Why do you hide your natural curly hair and color? Don't tell us you're not proud of your Moroccan roots. Do you talk to people like this outside? I believe that's what the youth call scaring the hoes. Wait, Denims isn't white? I can never tell if people are being sarcastic when they say, I can't tell if, wait, is Denims actually not white? I can never tell if those people are being sarcastic. Nope, but looks like I hit a weak spot since you pulled me up. No, I pulled you up because you said make white people pay for feeding and breeding more non-white kids, which came off insane and made you sound like a fucking crazy person. And then I looked at your other messages and I confirmed that you are in fact a crazy person. Is it true or not? A taxation system that taxes people to feed children. Is that true or not? Did you know, the policy doesn't specifically exclusively target white people, right? So, yeah, it's untrue. White people in the West pay most of the taxes. Oh, you're just like racist. Like, you should actually never speak to anyone in your life and you should go live in a fucking mine for the rest of your life, actually. You're a freak, dude. If you ever wonder why you get no bitches, know that it's because you're a racist piece of shit that will never experience love. Just in case you were curious.
Bank deposits. Much in the
You
same
guys
way
can
I
also
use my
report that person for using slurs.
goes, we're all just parking our money in a safe investment. At least now there's a public benefit to us doing what we do. Now, as with most of Mamdani's plans, billionaires went to the press to whine. They said, oh, this is a mistake. People are gonna leave. We don't want to kick out millionaires.
It's so funny, too, because, like, this idea that brown and black people are the ones that are scamming the system and putting, like, white people's livelihoods at risk or whatever. It's like, go pull up a chart of, like, welfare fraud, by the way. Okay? And personally, I'm going to admit with you guys, I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I really don't even care if people commit fraud so that they can get food stamps. I don't even care. If you're at the point where you're committing fraud so that the government can help you pay, like, can help pay $100 for food stamps, I don't even care. I care about the Rick Scotts of the world. And the Rick Scotts of the world, if you want to talk about race, like, that shit is self-evident, man. All right? Not that there is a that there is a link, but if you're just talking, I'm just talking about the facts. I'm just talking about the statistics. Isn't it interesting that you only ever talk about the statistics that let you be a racist piece of shit, but you never talk about the statistics that make your racist ideas look fucking stupid? Oh, shocking. Well, I'm just saying the truth, that it's just the truth that black and brown people commit crime. It's like, okay, if we're just talking about the truth, can I ask the racial ethnicity or the skin tone of the people going to Epstein Island? It's almost like there's no fucking correlation between those things, and these are societal factors. You fucking shit for brains, dumbass, moron. Hello? And people are victims of the zip code that they grow up in. And shocking, I know, but like, your material conditions are going to impact material conditions impact whether or not crime occurs, at what rates it occurs. It's just so annoying. It's just so cringy. It's like, I don't understand the race realists that try and use statistics when you can easily pull up a billion statistics that look way fucking worse. It's like, actually, race has nothing to do with these things. It has to do with what your income looks like and what your zip code was when you grew up. That is the best metric for how someone's life will turn out. And it, again, has never been about anything else, like, ever. It's literally your spawn point determines so much about your life. So, sorry, it's just cringy. It's so cringy. Dude, don't even get me started on... And you know what's funny, too? It's like, when you try and explain these ideas to race realists, they don't understand. Like, they like fail to understand analogies. Like, you tell them, well, it's not that school shooters specifically are white because white people have a school shooter gene. It's that in white communities, in suburbs, community is just, it's much more closed off than it is in other cultures. Like, if you talk to Hispanic people, if you have Hispanic friends or black friends or immigrant friends, they'll tell you, like, oh, your whole family lives in your house with you. You move out at 18. What are you, crazy? No, you move out when it makes sense for you to move out. What? And when you're lacking that community and you're lacking that, like, outlet, yeah, no shit, because people are not meant to be isolated. Human beings are social creatures. You are meant to have friends. You're meant to have people that you trust. You're meant to have people that you can talk to. And I'm sorry, it is the case that a lot of the school shooters, if not probably all of them, were dealing with mental health crises because they don't have any community, because there's no third spaces, and because, admittedly, a lot of like suburban culture, which happens to also be white, is very like closed off. Like you see family like on the holidays and that's it. Like, oh, it's time to go to the family for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And besides that, it's like, I talked to my Hispanic friends and they're like, well, there's going to be a birthday party on Friday and then we're just having fun on Saturday. Sunday, I think they're doing a sports game or something. I don't know why I'm checking my watch as if there's a calendar there. Oh, and then there's another birthday on Tuesday. That one's going to be fun. It's the twins. And then Thursday, we were thinking to like just host something just because, well, why not? And then there's like literally, you're just constantly hanging out with community, which in that case is family. Whereas if you talk to, and this is not like an all white people or all Hispanic people, but generally speaking, a lot of like the white people that I've spoken to or a lot of the white people I've been friends with, suburbia is just hell. Suburbia is just hell. And like the culture is like, it's literally, oh, I don't want to hang out with my, the thing is, in immigrant communities, immigrant culture, or even in brown and black culture, a lot of times you don't like half of your family, okay? That's part of the deal. You don't like them and you're just forced to show up and hang out. But it like keeps you sane because there's usually some people there that you like, and by circumstance alone, you stay sane because you're at least having human connection. And also low key sometimes it's good to have people that call you out. And I will tell you guys, man, I've gotten called out by people who weren't my family just because they're like, I'm friends with someone like someone who's Hispanic, and I go over to their house for like a party, and like some random person doesn't know me. They're roasting the shit out of me. I'm like, damn. Oh my God. This is brutal out here, man. Oh my God. Go to a white family. It's like, wow, that dress is unique. That's good. Yeah. No, I like it. I like it. It's like, girl, just tell me it's bad. Like, don't give people a false sense of security, man. Stop. I can't with these, like, with this language. You got to go straight for the jugular, man. I would rather have someone tell me, so you picked that one out from the trash, or were they just giving it for free? It's like, how you getting, not you getting roasted by someone's Tia. But it's love, right? It's like, no, I can be straight with you because I would not speak to you this way if I didn't trust you to be an adult and handle it like an adult or whatever, right? But anyways, what was I trying to say? It's culture. It's culture. It's just so crazy. It's like, I don't understand race realists. I don't understand it. It's so bizarre to me. I don't know how you could like go about the world and interact with people and actually believe any of that horse shit. Like, you've got to be the dumbest person alive to believe that shit.
Who spend so much in New York, blah, 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 blah. But they know they're not going anywhere. Taxes like these never actually drive out more than a tiny % of ultra-wealthy residents. Study. And at the end of the day, New York is New York. These guys can't avoid going there once in a while. If they can afford a $5 million apartment they barely use, they can afford this. They don't actually have any leverage, and boy does that feel good. So the city's getting more money coming in, and it's going to allow the mayor's office to do more of what they've already shown they can do well. Things like handling a historic blizzard, putting the screws to landlords, filling hundreds of thousands of potholes, getting rid of junk fees on hotels and delivery apps, and all this other stuff that this video is just not able to cover because we frankly underestimated how much Mamdani's done when we started this. And in the future, building more affordable housing, making buses free, and opening public grocery stores, with the first one already announced for the end of the year. The wheels are already turning, and this is working. Having a socialist mayor is working. Not for nothing, but New Yorkers, by and large, they love the Zoe.
I like him. I like his smile. I think he's got good energy.
Love him.
I'm just amazed that he does so much.
Look at this. Up like a rocket, higher and higher. New York City voters have never felt better about the man that they elected to lead this city.
he has done a ton of great things already, not the least of which breaking with the left's traditional MO. Losing. We've gotten so used to elections being a contest between Mr. Neo-Shitlib and Bring Hitler Back Man that it's incredibly refreshing seeing someone on the left not just offering an alternative and winning on that line, but then actually doing pro-working class things once in power instead of clip-farming anti-Republican zingers, writing strongly worded letters, and going back to the nursing home. Like sewer socialists back in the 30s, Zohran is proving that socialists can both have the right ideas and get shit done. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Zohran isn't the US's first socialist in office. A century ago, cities like Milwaukee elected true-bred Reds to city councils and mayor's offices. And once in power, these sewer socialists delivered things like the first public housing co-op in the country, city-owned power and quarries, and, as the name implies, functional sewage systems. They even, in an echo of what's coming down the pike in New York, secured city-run affordable food and clothing. Once again, socialists in office, good, but sometimes bad too. For all the great things the Mamdani admin is doing, having the DSA sticker of endorsement doesn't give him a free pass. For all the progress made, there are some serious concerns I, and a lot of us on the left, have about how the next few years might go. And let's start with the biggest disappointment so far, the NYPD. We knew this was coming. Early in the election cycle, Mamdani committed to keeping Jessica Tisch on as NYPD commissioner, most recently seen here. You might not know her if you don't live in the city, but Tisch is well known there for both her connections to New York's financial elite, as an heiress of the Lowe's family fortune, and her, let's call it, conservative approach to policing, particularly against pro-Palestine protesters. She is a darling of the New York elite, and as one of the highest-ranking figures in the city, someone appointed directly by the mayor, and the commander of 30,000 officers playing with the budget of an army, Tisch is not like any other appointment. Whoever has that role matters a lot. That she is such a diametrically opposed figure politically is one thing, but the more important issue is her track record since she's been in charge. Already, we've seen her commitment to so-called quality of life policing. Basically, sending cops to harass people in a sort of dragnet way. The idea of QOLP, or CULP as the kids call it, is you bring out the big guns for the little stuff to stop it at the source. It doesn't sound too unreasonable until you realize it's the same failed idea behind broken windows. It's putting guys with guns in situations where they're gonna...
No, stop and frisk was a very effective strategy, okay? We stopped so many black teenagers who were doing nothing.
Escalate things. What does this look like in practice? For one, it looks like homeless people being dragged to court in droves for sleeping in subway cars. This started when Tisch was working for Adams, and it hasn't slowed down a bit under Zohran. You only sleep on the train if you truly have no other choice. For example, if you've been iced all night. But sicking the cops on people just trying to make do is overkill, and it doesn't take into account that the homeless have even less of a choice these days now that the Mamdani admin has, tragically, restarted doing homeless encampment sweeps. And the criminalization of homelessness is just one particularly cruel facet of this problem. The NYPD's also shown it's a problem in the way they've been collaborating with ICE.
Video shows ICE agents dragging a man outside of Wyckoff Heights Medical Center. We're working to find out why ICE took him into custody, but the NYPD says it had no involvement in this operation.
You may have heard about this already, but on May 2nd, NYPD arrested and used force against New Yorkers protesting ICE as the agency was arresting an undocumented immigrant in Bushwick. From what we know, ICE and the NYPD didn't coordinate ahead of time, so no laws were broken or anything. But that didn't stop officers on the scene aiding the US Gestapo as they dragged a handcuffed, clearly injured guy out of a hospital and pepper sprayed anybody getting in their way. The NYPD went so far as arresting and shoving protesters and even changing a tire on ICE's car so that they could get away. Facilitating ICE's operations like this is clearly not what should be happening with a socialist in charge, and it seriously undermines Zohran's supposed commitment to keeping New York a sanctuary city. Bottom line, by refusing to rein in the NYPD, Zohran puts a lot of New York...
Which, like, let me say, this is exactly how I want our political climate to look. I want it to look like electing candidates, electing politicians that do what they say that they're going to do. And when they make mistakes and when they do things that we don't like, we call them out and slowly shift the Overton window closer and closer and closer and closer to what we want. Because Zohran even doing everything that he has done, making it so that people are just getting sick and tired of the establishment and being like, I don't want another fucking Kristen Gillibrand. I don't want that trash. Like, I want someone who actually will go out and fucking fight for me. I don't want someone who's going to stick it to them. All right? I want someone who actually gives a shit about me. I want someone who, when they're asked, hey, are you going to take this $300,000 pay raise? I want them to say no. I want them to say, I haven't earned it. People haven't asked for me to get paid more. I want to fight for the people. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here to get more money. I was elected to do a job and I want to do my job. Right? So I want there to be a constant, slow movement, I don't know what you would describe it as, towards the right direction, right? And also, we should be capable of drift, I think is what I was looking for, criticizing the candidates that are not doing exactly what they said, how they said, and push them in the right direction. Left direction, you mean? Right? I mean left. Correct direction. That's what I mean. I'm from Queens. For decades, the number one arrest category in New York City was weed possession, 40K arrests per year. The New York City state legalized weed now. They have to find other reasons to harass people and arrest people. Yup. And that's how I feel about this. It's just like, I understand that I wanted to preface what I'm about to say with all of that, but I understand that the New York City mayor has a progressive mayor has a difficult job of making the people of New York happy and also having to make and deal with the police union, which is sadly one of the strongest unions in this country. And he can't just ignore the NYPD. And I get that. And I think it was a good thing that he didn't bite off more than he could chew, but that doesn't mean we should ignore it. He needs to get everyone on New York on board with, no, our mayor, Mamdani, knows what he's doing. He is here to help us. He is here to make our lives better. I am starting to unequivocally trust him. So I understand he's just doing one step at a time, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't keep calling for it.
New York's most over-policed and vulnerable communities at risk.
Police unions aren't even unions or class trader gangs. I mean, yes, definitionally.
Risk. This was already a bit of concern.
And yeah, this is what I'm saying. I don't want what I say to come off like, well, he's just a small bean. He can't take on the NYPD all by himself. And I don't want to stifle criticism or stifle accountability or calls for accountability. But also, we definitely shouldn't let him off the hook. But I also think the NYPD is a way harder problem to solve than people might think it is. Correct. There's a streamer I would like to follow him. He's a YouTuber. His name is Second Thought. Oh, not his real name, but. Oh, sorry, I was linking the wrong thing. Oh, exclamation point video. Thank you, bro.
When he ran. But the fact that he backtracked on defunding the police and planned to keep Tish in charge was supposed to be balanced by things like the Department of Community Safety.
And that this is an appointment.
Unfortunately, he's right. They move like an actual gang. They publicly announced the address of Cuomo's daughter or whatever. I thought that was de Blasio.
That I would make in tandem with delivering on the agenda that we put forward over the course of the primary. That's an agenda that will create a Department of Community Safety.
Yep.
That is an agenda that will ensure that we are dismantling the strategic response group as the way the NYPD responds to protests. And it's an agenda that understands that safety and justice have to be delivered together. The most important thing is that we only ask those officers to do the work of policing, as opposed to now, we're asking them to also take on the homelessness crisis, the mental health crisis, so many different examples of the failures of the social safety net. That's
guys, we've seen Zohran Mamdani's wife and what she said, okay? Zohran is obviously more progressive than he lets on in some of these interviews. When he says, oh yeah, I believe Israel should be a state with equal rights for both people. What he's saying is, I don't believe under current Israeli leadership, I don't believe that Israeli politicians or even the Israeli people want Palestinians to have equal rights. In fact, when you ask them how they feel about Gaza, 80% of them say ethnically cleanse all of them. So I don't know how Israel can exist as an fucking ethno-state. I don't know how anyone can be okay with it existing as a fucking ethno-state. He can't go full Hassan. He's hiding his... Yeah, and his position is... like, the closest thing I guess I could call it is like a humanist position, but he understands that he has to be cautious with words because the establishment will try and attempt to do anything to discredit it because, God forbid, you actually run on a campaign that helps people instead of just financially profiting and filling your portfolio up. The foundation of Israel is just as untenable like the US's foundation. I mean, correct. And so that is exactly the same caution he is putting on display when he talks about the NYPD, when he says, I think that they're just like overworked and they have a lot of things that they can't be expected to deal with all of these things. I know what that means as a fellow progressive. I know what that means. It's just a tactical way to say, yeah, I'd like less fucking cops showing up and killing people's fucking dogs because they're asking for help. I know what that means, and I think everybody else knows what that means. But again, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't constantly be pushing people slowly towards an Overton window that has been shifted left enough that the center actually is the fucking center.
It's going to be the focus of the Department of Community Safety.
If Tish wasn't going anywhere, at least cops would be less of a nuisance. But so far, the SRG is still there, Tish is still beating on protesters and the homeless, and the DCS is little more than an office with no budget. Now, I'll admit, we're still in the early days, and I hope I'm proven wrong, but things like this hint at a bigger problem. We knew the minute Mamdani got into office, he'd have to contend with the establishment. Establishment Democrats, New York's elite, holdovers from the last administration. No one expected the mayor of a single city, no matter how committed he was or how big that city is, to deliver a socialist transformation overnight, free of any resistance or compromise. I'll even say that the way Zohran has worked with the establishment has been, for the most part, strategic and efficient. NYPD stuff notwithstanding, compromising with Hochul delivered free childcare and a luxury homes tax.
And a lot of people were very confused about his endorsement. I thought it was Hochul, but I'm pretty sure it's Hochul, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe both are correct. A lot of people were very concerned about his endorsement of Hochul. And I called this really early on saying, listen, guys, maybe it's too early to say this, but I trust his team. Going from no one knows who you are to beating Andrew Cuomo is while being publicly, visibly Muslim, communist, socialist, whatever, it's a very impressive feat. I trust his media team, and I trust his strategy, and I trust his ability to make the right decisions, and I trust his wit, and I trust his staff and his staffers. I want to believe that he didn't go for something like this without getting some concessions in return. So I was like, this, I'm going to give a little bit of grace and assume just this once that he's doing politicking for the good of the people in New York. And as it turned out, it did play out well. And it did. He had nothing to win from it because the DSA was not running a challenger. You should get there, though. You can't get shit done if you don't do politics. You literally just can't walk into a room and force everyone to work with you. It's politics. Well, I mean, again, that's why when he was asked, what do you think about Hakeem Jeffries? He was like, I'm just going to focus on New York. Do you think he should step down? I don't really know. It's he knows, but he also knows he can't just make an enemy out of literally everyone and expect there to be changes. He hasn't proven himself first. Or he has to prove himself first. As in the DSA should to where they can run candidates everywhere. I think people are also just so used to charisma suck dipshits that on the left, we can miss what are supposed to be dog whistles for progressives, but we take it as face values. Take it at face value, totally agree. I love when Fox News calls him Commie Mamdani because it doesn't make people scared of him. It just makes people love communism. Yeah. Local DSA LA convention is today. Are you going to go? I don't think I can make it. As sad as that is.
Putting on a good show for Trump staved off the worst of ICE and reversed some deportations. In these compromises, Mamdani is sticking to his word. His goal is delivering on his program so that New York can lead by example and can't be dismissed in future elections across the country as just another failed socialist experiment. Socialists running for office need to be trusted. This is clearly a good priority. Okay, new outfit because I don't remember what I was wearing in the first part of the video and I'm not going to check. Also, if there are a lot of jump cuts in this section, it's because it's very stormy out there and there's some thunder, so I'm going to cut around that. Now, this is not where the video was meant to end. To tell you the truth, we had this episode most of the way done, but I wanted to add something last minute after the primaries, which just happened. Now, originally, I was going to get on my high horse and complain that Mamdani was, he was doing well, but slowly drifting away from his base and the DSA. After a few months, the videos from the mayor's office felt like they were wasting his talent for mobilizing. Zohran kept getting wins, that's great, but more and more of them were being diluted thanks to either the budget deficit or his alliances with the establishment. That is concerning. We don't want that becoming the norm, and to avoid that, we know we need more socialists in office and pressure from below. But we were losing the energy of the campaign's 100,000 volunteers. And I know that's normal after any election, but even right after Mamdani won, New York DSA signups flatlined at 2,000, and we were seeing promising socialists in New York either not getting endorsed or getting straight up sidelined.
And, sorry, let me let him finish his point.
It started to feel like we won one important election, and that was going to be it. The ladder was being pulled up. We weren't building the alternative after all, and everything was going to hang on Mamdani not betraying us. Well, I'm genuinely happy to report that, at least as of right now, that's not what's happening. In the most recent primaries in New York, Mamdani-endorsed candidates won, and in most cases, they won big. I can tell you firsthand that friends in the city had an incredibly easy time knowing who to vote for this year, even down ballot, thanks to Zohran's endorsements. And in the races that Zohran hadn't said anything about, in most cases DSA had a candidate they put forward, and people pretty much knew that was the same thing. Now, I don't know what kind of numbers Mamdani's team's looking at. Maybe we could have gone further and won a few more races, but the results speak for themselves. 9 out of 10 DSA wins ain't bad at all.
Let's go! That's my fucking mayor! That's my mayor right there! Let's fucking go! And even if you're not from New York, that's your fucking mayor too!
In those races where Mamdani endorsed candidates further to the left than even the Working Families Party, which is historically about
I'm a hoe for Zoe is crazy.
About as far left as candidates in New York go. More and more, it's looking like Zohran and DSA are carving out a space in the Democratic Party that's independent enough to win elections and maybe soon pass
So you guys know on my stream, on this channel, on this show, I do a lot more of culture because culture impacts everything else. Everything else is like downstream from culture. And I do think culture is super important. And I don't mean necessarily like pop culture or something. I mean like how people feel about the things that are happening in the world or in their country, the world or our planet. And that impacts pretty much everything. Like, again, literally like everything. Quoting Steve Bannon right now, by the way, am I? I don't really listen to Steve Bannon. He disgusts me. And there is so much. This is why I've tried to trust Mamdani a little bit. Not to say that we shouldn't criticize him at all, but I've tried to really trust Mamdani on some of the decisions he's made because he has to prove that New York wins, that socialism can win, that democratic socialism can win, that people want a socialist that actually gives a shit about them, that they can see that taxing the billionaires actually fucking works, dude. Guys, Steve Bannon said the sky is blue. If you say the sky is blue, you're quoting him. Shut up. I know what the chatter is trying to say. They're just joking. They're poking fun at me. I know that chatter is a troller. I had a greater point that I was making. Wait, hold up. Yeah, New York City is just a great way to show the rest of the country you can demand more. And you need to. And you should. The number of people that aren't even necessarily progressive that look at New York and they're like, so why the f can't we have that? Why the f do we have fucking potholes? I'm tired of, driving my fucking car in this pothole every morning and asking for it to get fixed and it never getting fucking fixed. I'm tired of my landlord having fucking poop water flooding my fucking neighborhood all the time and that suspicious tower that looks like it communicates with aliens and there's nothing I can do about it. And these people, they can call Mamdani's fucking hotline. He picks up in 0.1 millisecond and somehow the landlord has already been executed on the spot. Like, what? Why can't we have that? Like, why does he have that and we don't fucking have that? I want that. I want my landlord to actually have to fucking fix his property. I want the fucking millionaires and billionaires to pay fucking taxes. I want to be able to afford the city that I fucking work in. And I think people are just tired of like the Haley Stevens, and we're gonna stick it to him. It's like, how exactly are you gonna do that? You're a misogynist just like Abdul Sayed. Like, you haven't stated a policy that you actually give a fuck about. And people are tired of the Kamala Harris, like, and yeah, they're right. Immigrants are a serious problem. And we need to execute the immigrants. We need to do that immediately. But I was thinking instead of 100%, what if we did like 50%? What if we did that? It's like, stop. I see some chatters had their checks cleared, huh? I don't know. This Haley Stevens is starting to grow on me. Your check just clear? I don't know if you guys saw that tweet. It was really funny. I'm $10 richer, baby. I don't know. Haley Stevens is starting to grow on me. I don't know. This flan is starting to grow on me. I'm getting paid per chat messages. Anyways, guys. Yeah, I feel like it's also why I try to make stream as positive as I can. You know, within reason. Because, like, first of all, there's enough bad news in the world. Second, there's a lot of good news in the world, all right? And I'm sorry, it's objectively dope that we actually get to experience Mamdani having an impact on New York and actually having an impact on the rest of the world and or country at least. And Fox News' only response is, guys, he's a communist. He's a communist and he wants to give you health care and child care. And he's going to do it by taxing the people who have 2 homes. It's like, what are you doing exactly? So yeah, I like to cover the fun stuff. I like to cover the good stuff. And I would like to amplify as much of the Zohran stuff as possible. Although everyone's so horny for Zohran, including Trump. So it's not that hard to amplify, but